to be more like the physical embodiment of compassion, Guanyin or Avalokiteshvara. Introduction. Before we get into this, I am going to preface by saying that my understanding of Buddhism is quite little compared to the research I've put into other religions. It isn't for lack of interest or trying, I usually just run out of time to research all of the things that I would like to get to. Seeing as the inspiration for this story originally comes from Buddhism and then mixed with local folklore, religious syncretism, the fusion of diverse religious beliefs and practices, to become the modern understanding, I am bound to misinterpret some things. With that being said, I always like my essays to be more open ended with room for conversation and correction. If I manage to get something seriously wrong, please correct me in the comments. The only way for us to accurately learn is to leave room for mistakes. Guanyin. In Chinese mythology, Guanyin is the physical embodiment of compassion and is the goddess of mercy. Worshippers call upon her in times of uncertainty, fear, and despair. She sees and hears all. One author wrote that it is only when all sentient beings in the world attain emptiness that Guanyin's all-compassionate heart will rest. Originally based on the Hindu god Avalokiteshvara, which spread throughout China and mixed with the local folklore to become Guanyin. Though this deity can take both male and female form, in Chinese lore she is most depicted as a woman. Hamilton, 2022. The word Avalokiteshvara means the Lord who looks down, sometimes referred to as Lokshva or Lord of the World, depicted in varying forms across Buddhist traditions but always associated with Ma'akaruna, great compassion. The context of the word Mahakaruna is more than I feel I can get into, but just understanding it as more than just compassion will help for now. Wikipedia Contributors 2019. The word became Guan Shi Yin, meaning literally Guan, observe, view, Shi, world generation, and Yin sound. The Bodhisattva who perceives the sounds of the world. Or in its imagery, it implies a deity who observes the sounds, cries of suffering of the world to come to their aid. Eventually, this name was shortened from Guanqiyin to Guanyin, usually shown wearing a flowing white robe and jade necklaces. Both white and jade symbolize purity, and carrying a vase of water and a willow branch. Most visual images depict her either standing on the back of a dragon, sitting on a lotus flower, or riding on clouds. In her lore, although reincarnated multiple times, she was originally the descendant of King Zhuang of Chu and his wife, Lady Fan. In Chinese myth, Guanyin plays various roles but is always shown as powerful, benevolent, and motivated by a supreme sense of compassion. In her origin legends, she was once a girl named Miao Shan. When she came of age to be married, she told her father she aspired to be a Buddhist nun. She told him that she would only agree to a marriage that solved three problems: the suffering of age, sickness, and death. Despite efforts, he did not find a match that met these demands and sent her to join a Buddhist temple. He ordered that the monks give her the hardest work to discourage her. However, the forest animals took pity on her and began to help her with chores. Her father was so enraged to discover this that he set fire to the temple. Miao Shan extinguished the flames with her hands and was sentenced to death because her father feared she was a demon. When the executioner brought down the axe, it shattered. His sword broke, and arrows went off course, and so on. Miao Shan saw the trouble she was causing and forgave the executioner, absorbing his karma and allowing herself to be killed. In hell, she wept for all the suffering souls and poured her energy into freeing them. Yan Wang feared his kingdom would collapse and allowed her to return to earth as Guan Yin. There are many other stories depicting her. The previous is just a crucial one that I had to include. In pop culture, Guanyin is immensely popular to Chinese culture, often compared to the level of significance as the Virgin Mary has to Christianity. Guanyin is said to offer protection to all experiencing pain, suffering, or fear, with special attention given to women and children. She has been told to grant children to childless parents. She's been featured in a vast array of stories, even TV shows and movies. Guanyin was even recreated as an android at the Kodiji Temple in Kyoto, where she holds daily prayers. Hamilton, 2022. The significance of this story is something incredible, and I have dug into why religion is important as a coping mechanism before in the writing Religion as a Political Ideology. So I plan to take a slightly different route this time, obviously. So, how do we embody compassion? Before we try to embody compassion, we have to understand exactly what compassion is. What does it do? What are the benefits? What does it look like? Compassion is the awareness of suffering and the desire to alleviate it. Not only does compassion entail the depth of empathy, but the warmth of kindness and the forethought for action. Compassion goes farther than empathy. Empathy is an important skill to develop, please don't misunderstand, but without action, this can sometimes fall flat. Research has also found that compassion has benefited us in a few ways. People who demonstrate compassionate meditation have better immune responses to stress. People who train compassion in the short term are more likely to engage in pro social behaviors, and people experience more empathy and emotional understanding with small practices of compassion. People who practice compassionate meditation also recorded higher rates of being happier and more satisfied in their lives. It is also likely that compassion can act as a balance for social systems by preventing retaliation. Cherry, 2018. Compassion can look like treating yourself with the same kindness you would offer a friend facing hardship. This is a really good first step because it can help you become more comfortable with the idea of extending that compassion outwards. Another way to show compassion is to meet challenges with an attempt to understand rather than avoidance. One comparison is that compassion looks like an offering of practical help from a place of understanding, while empathy is just the understanding of their struggle. Meditation can help train the mind to be more adept at noticing. Small acts of kindness can build courage to help build trust in a community. In between this, though, continually reflect on your own needs and desires to redirect potential resentments or frustrations that may arise. Not everyone is developed in compassion, and it can take time to revel in the benefits of the seeds we are currently planting. Don't get discouraged. Meet your concerns with the same attention you are working on directing outwards to better the flow of that compassion. Wrapping up. I know this was a short essay, but I hope it gave you some insight and interest in other cultures and people. Religion and deities are always very broad topics, so bringing it back to humans and what we can actually do can help ground us in experiencing again. I also probably said the word compassion way too many times and could have found synonyms, but for the sake of simplicity, I will just sound like a broken record. Compassion can start from the outside in, and it can grow from the smallest of places. Give your mind some time to think about it. I believe we owe each other kindness. Good luck, stranger. I hope to see you later. Thank you for being here. If you're a fan of investigative journalism and philosophy, subscribe for free today. If you'd like to further support my efforts, you can subscribe to my Patreon, which will be linked below, including the direct link to this article, which includes my references. Only occasional posts are for purchase. Everything else is free and comes 2 days earlier on average, which also helps me cover research materials, i.e., purchasing texts, as well as my time and effort in development. Along with that, it supports my real life effort in making education free and widespread. I thank you for your support no matter what form. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Stay safe. Bye.